Welcome back everyone to Splash Peak, our indoor water park that already features a natural flume as well as a wonderful river rapid ride. Today we are going to start with a 3-episode project which is going to be a very great log flume. You've already seen a little teaser to what it's gonna look like after the 3 episodes, so there is an incentive for you to stick with me throughout all the episodes. Sub to the channel right now, make sure to activate the bell and be here, because that is one of my bestest works so far. I had to split it into 3 episodes for 3 major reasons. The number 3 is kind of making a reappearance here. Number 1 is, well, it was quite a lot of work, so I needed to put it into 3 episodes. Number 2, I've got a lot to talk about. And number 3, I am, when you're watching this video, am on holidays. And that means I will be in Spain. I won't have super much access. Well, to be fair, I have almost no access to games or whatever. I've got a couple of tasks to be fulfilled. There are going to be a lot of exclusives on the channel over the next coming month, and so I needed to kind of separate these videos a little bit in order to be able to bring you some coaster content. There's also going to be some tours in zoo and so on. I really did try to prepare a lot of videos for you guys, and this is why I thought to not cram one into one video but making it 3 videos, but they are also separated in a very logical way. This was an entire build. I sit down for like I think 6 or 7 hours in total, or maybe even a tad bit more, to be honest, and then I decided to split them apart into 3 episodes rather than 2, simply because they all have a very specific focus. And you know what, I'm just gonna drop it right away without even spoiling too much because you've seen it. This episode is gonna be all about the layout and all about the main the main aspect, and this is the kind of little mountain. The next episode is going to be the whole indoor part and the whole mountain facility itself, and the last episode, number 3, is going to be the station, which is going to look so good thanks to the brand new pathing options we got in the last update. And well, speaking of update, the next update is something I must somehow cover from Spain as well, which I don't know how I'm gonna do this exactly, but we'll figure out. Now, thank you so much as always for the ability to do all these videos, by the way. Before I talk more about this build specifically, I feel like I say this way too seldom. Doing these videos for so many people out there is such a crazy fortunate situation. It's such a gift, and you guys are always here. Like, I know exactly where the core of this channel is. I know all your names. I love seeing you guys in the comments, and this is why I've been a little bit upset lately that there were so little comments. And I know it's always painful, I tend to not comment that often on YouTube videos myself as well, but for a creator, it's always important to have comments down there, to just get into an action and to read all your comments. So please, if you've got anything to say about this build or something else, or random things, like for example, what's your favorite food, let me know in the comments down below so I get to know you better. We all tell the algorithm, we all interact with each other. How cool is that? And yeah, just big thanks to all of you for being here, watching the videos, interacting with me, and just making all that possible. I'm very grateful for that. I just wanted to say that. Okay, now let's talk about this build, why I was trying to do certain things here with the pool, to hide this in, simply to get some of the coloring options. I wish they would make this later on again, but I don't know why they don't. It looks kind of cool with this lake I do at the end, but I wanted to do the pools for a specific reason. We do have 2 flumes to the left and right of our main log flume in the middle that will be going into the pool here too, and they will, yes, both be accessible, which is going to be so cool, as you can see. The whole thing is inspired by one of my favorite attractions in the world, which unfortunately isn't existing, at least not in the original form any longer. And this again shows me how old I am, because I have been there on opening day. Well, that's not true, in the opening week of this ride. However, it wasn't opened until the last day that I've been there, and that is the wonderful Splash Mountain in Walt Disney World in Florida. Yes, if you look into the calendars or Google it or whatever, you'll find out exactly this was 1998. Yeah, I was 8 years old, okay? I'm an old camel, okay? But I remember that exact day when we were intended to, like, this was the day where we wanted to leave to Miami and actually, or to Orlando, I should say, to go to SeaWorld. But it turned out that Splash Mountain figured out all the problems they had, and finally that was opened this day. And so my aunt took me very early in the morning, and we stormed through the park. And I remember that our hotel was exactly on the opposite side. Or I don't actually, hold on. We have been in Epcot, so we needed to get to the main park, the Magic Kingdom anyways, and then just run through the entire park, because Splash Mountain was kind of in the north by where Big Thunder Mountain is located as well. And so we needed to run through that entire area until we were there. But we were amongst the first to get onto the ride, and it was such a fun thing. And for anyone out there who still knows the Disney's Magic Racing game, you were also able to race in Splash Mountain, and all the music and stuff I'm still digging so much. I just love that. And so I thought, you know what, I need to do this over here. I mean, it's also a classic, you know, having a log flume coming out of a mountain like that is pretty much of a classic. But yeah, this is one of my favorite works. As always, working with the terrain is something I think I'm quite okay with and I'm quite good at, so always fun doing this. And also in these speed builds, you can really tell how much of an intricate work that is, but I'm loving it so much. It's so enjoyable to rewatch that as well. Yeah, I know, it's my own stuff and my own game, but still, I like rewatching this. It's so funny. It's so cozy, and I don't know, it's almost like with clay. I love working with clay myself too. Well, I used to, because I don't have the time. I hope that my kids will bring me one day to build that again. I'm also waiting for the day I can seriously play Lego again with my kids together. My daughter, she's got a lot of Lego, but it's not her favorite thing to do. Like, it's, you know, sometimes we're just building it, but then she doesn't really play with it. And I'm like, okay, well, can I secretly destroy it so we have to build it again? It's kind of something like that, you know. She's not so much into it. My daughter is really more into drawing and just creating stuff with like paper and so on, which I'm very thankful for. She's a super creative mind, and she is very, very curious about anything. And she loves drawing to the max, which I used to do as a small kid too. So I won't complain. Maybe Lego is something she's discovering later. I'm very glad. She's 4 years old. She's got time, you know. And the other one is just half a year old, so I don't blame him for not doing that, because he's not getting any Legos anywhere near his claws, you know. Yeah, but you can see the mountain over here is, well, we gotta say it should be an artificial one. And this dome is kind of outrageously big. I may change it a little bit in the future. I'm not sure if the episode will reach you until I'm back, but there are some ideas I have to fix this dome a little. You know, there are a couple of things, unfortunately, with the dome that is a bit, well, problematic, I should say, because the default color of the glass pieces has been changed with the latest update, which is not too bad for many occasions. But in my specific occasion over here, it is bad. Because, oh boy, it does look weird. We have to change the color. It looks really murky, as if no one has cleaned these windows for ages. And, well, cleaning these windows is a task on its own, I guess. If you, like, the maintenance cost for this glass dome would be ridiculous. And you can see these opening. You can see that's really nice in this. There's still some stuff open with the dome. And I was, like, always tend to close them off, but the more I think about this, the more I realize I should keep them open for an airflow. Like, if I am able to make a dome structure that would be so that rain is staying out, but the rest is open for like airflow, having like this semi-open thing to it, it will make a whole bunch of sense, because it would be boiling hot in here else, and there is no way to cool it down. It would be like the craziest kind of glass house effect or whatever, or greenhouse effect, I should say. So no, I think I'm gonna change this. I'm definitely gonna change this to make that at least a little bit realistic. It is kind of odd to see it that way, but hey, that's something for a future episode, for a future Rudi. You know, the future Rudi always gets the best jobs. He gets the best jobs. But you can tell how nice you can use this wonderful brush over here. In case you haven't seen my tutorial, I made a scenery brush tutorial, which unfortunately not too many people have seen, I guess. At the moment, the algorithm isn't my best friend, but we always have these times during the year. So I'm just going to make a little bit of a shameless plug over here. I made a wonderful little tutorial about the scenery brush. you'll find that on my channel easily if you search for it. And I think it's going to be very helpful. I shared some very cool tricks, and even so much that Taggy did drop me a message on Discord that he was very thankful for that, because he was preparing something similar, and I even came up with ideas he didn't see yet. So that is always very good. If Taggy hasn't seen it, that means I did a good one here. You know, Taggy is the new reference, if you will. I love that. So you can see we are continuing the timber kind of mountain style. It's no secret that this is the case, and yeah, that's just a beautiful style and on its own, I guess. And you know, also with the style, I think this is a theme that the game would offer theoretically on its own with a couple of maps we have in game, but I feel like doing this inside of a hall like this, or like a dome, if you will, makes the whole thing kind of even more interesting, because technically you could put this into regions where it usually wouldn't be. Like, you know, you couldn't do that in a more hot region, because that would be too boiling hot, but maybe also in a way colder region, and then create like a tropical, or not tropical, but it's definitely like a temperate kind of style in here. Or you just go in a temperate region and you just ensure that you have a bit of a better experience for your guests. I'm also like very much thinking about this dome situation the whole time. You have these type of domes here in Germany, quite a few of those, to like with tropical, but they're all tropical, I must admit. You know, sometimes they are also having different themes, but within the themes they still have tropical foliage in there, because it's always kind of boiling hot. I think two of the more modern ones, they have the ability to open the roof, at least partially. And I'm wondering, like, if you have the ability, if you would even let rain in. Like, I personally think about this like, oh my god, I mean, if you've got pools, you know, the rain isn't the best idea to have in terms of the water cleanliness and so on. But watering all these plants and so on your own is a tremendous effort, and also, like, you know, nature-wise, ecologically, it's not the best idea, I guess. But then again, can you open the roof in a way that it only hits the areas with like the stuff? I guess you can't. The only idea I would have is to take in the water from the roof with a very clever way of utilizing kind of the how's that thing called again? The gutters. You know, to use the gutters to bring the water into a big reservoir and then have it as a rain water depot to utilize that for your plants. I think this is something you could do, and I'm also willing to install that just as an idea to be a bit more eco-friendly with this build overall. You know, also put a pump here that is totally not necessary, because, well, technically I have it on sandbox mode. But as you can tell over here, I am building a bit of a pathway, simply because we need to have access to the two pools. Otherwise, the people wouldn't be able to get out of the bridges. And yes, if you are wondering, we are building the exact route over here. We will be having access to these pools, so people can take the slides, which I do admit they are not the safest at the moment. Specifically, the left-hand side one has a huge exit speed down here, and it could cause some real issues. So I will try to make a bit of a difference by putting in some more safety things later on. But it's always a process, you know, it's a process to do it. And I assume you guys want to see how that looks in the real-time part. Well, glad you asked. Let's move into that one and have a look how it looks in-game. There we have it, my friends. This is the look at our Splash Peak mountain after the first episode of it. Well, actually, I have to stay over here because in this build, there's already more build. I have forgot to have a earlier save. But anyways, you can see this is that, and there you can have the two slides. Actually, you know what? We could open those two real quick, because that is the advantage of being in this save file over here. Hold up. We can just do that to see if they work. So let's put them all on, and then we're gonna wait for a second. Also, I'm gonna say in this camera it looks a lot better once I do this with the water down here. Look at that. It seems like almost they have improved the water on here too. But what I will do, as I said, we'll put a bit of security in here too. So now as we get the boats as well, it's going to look so cool once the boat comes down and the people slide. There you go. You've got the boat over here, and it's going to splash the people once they're next to it. Ah, it's so fun. Look at that. People are then in here, and then they can swim, they can be in here, and now as the next boat will then approach, they will be completely soaked in the water from the boat. As I said, we need to put some security measurements in here in between, because otherwise that would be very, very weird. There's only one way to come out, which is there. But it's also, oh my god, wait, hold on, they did change this apparently, right? Or is this just because of... I think there is like a weird thing happening because we are like in a pool within a pool, and it just kind of. I did not expect this to happen, to be honest. Like I think this is not a thing. Like I think I caused this with the fan. Is this happening here too? No, it's not really, right? Let's have a look. Well, you can't really tell because I put the end piece in here. Yeah, no, okay. So that is so freaking cool. I love that. Having people in the pool here, and then the wonderful coaster car, or like the flume coming in here in the center is so freaking cool. I think that's really, really enjoyable. So look at, oh my god, look at that. Look at this, guys. This is so cool. This is so cool. Loving this. I'm loving this. I'm wondering why no one is going on that one. I'm not sure if this is not connected or what's the deal, but no one wants to go there quite yet. Well, maybe the connection is missing or whatever. So yeah, there's not really that much more I can say about the first episode. You see how it built. I'm just going to zoom out a little without revealing too much. This is the whole area, and it sits in the middle. Not in the middle though, but also, by the way, this is all changing. So in case you're wondering, this is the looks of it. We will have the whole pool area will be in the center. It's going to look completely different, and the river rapids on this hand side is also going to change massively. This one over here is also being featured in a pool area. I want to have a pool in the middle and pools around, and then people can cross over the river rapids and see what they're doing. And this whole area will be covered in a lovely mountain too. I will need to change the entire dome to have some proper gateways to the outside, and we also do have a better, station overall. The station will be completely overhauled, and it's going to look a lot more like this one later on is going to look. As you've seen the spoiler at the beginning, how this all is going to look at the end. You will know what you are in for. So that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Oh, look at that. Now people use the matte flume here too. I'm hoping that they're not stuck in the pool and they will come out eventually. Oh my god, look at that thing shooting in here as well. Yeah, it's so cool. I feel like I have to kind of see if I can fix this by altering the height of this ever so slightly, because it looks kind of odd with the splash, depending on which angle you're looking at. Because if you're looking from this angle, you get this weird look, which I assume is because I've hidden the pool inside of the splash zone, which is causing the two water. I'm wondering if they kind of actively interact with the other type of water, and this is maybe why. Also, where are all my flumes, by the way? Like, are you still testing? The right is like that, okay, but you should be still testing, right? There should be more flumes on the way. By the way, this is how it looks, and also you can now see how the water effect, by the way, is the same as on the slides. Actually, it's almost better, but it's definitely the kind of same style and the same way it's working, which I think is the perfect way of doing it. Can we just sneakily have a look inside? There's no lock coming, is there? No. There's the queue, it all works. Okay, never mind. Look at that. This is also from above. Ah, the water texture looks so good. So freaking good. Damn, butch in there. I also could, you know what I could do if I am able to click on the pool, swimming pool. Let's close that one. And also close that one too, so people need to leave immediately. I think this is the better idea, to have them exit only pools and not have them swim in here the whole time. Look, that just works fantastically. And then this all looks a lot better. I'm loving the fact how they're just swimming over there now. Yeah, that's cool. That's definitely how it should work. Hey, you're trapped because I haven't built the pathway yet. Well, that's on you then. Anyways, okay, so that's been it. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Splash Peak. We started with our log flume. As you can tell over here, this is the fantastic view onto our log flume starting area. I am a big fan of it. I think it looks beautiful. I think the idea can work very well, and I can't wait to show you the next episode. Up until then, have a wonderful time. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And also, if you want to see new videos and you don't want to rely on the start page, on the start feed that YouTube is suggesting to you, make sure to activate the bell so you get the notification when there is a new video. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you in the next one.